Circumcision. In Genesis chapter 17, verse 1 and 14, God made a covenant with Abram. You will multiply greatly, so keep your covenant. There is nothing Abram can do, because God says he will do it himself. It's just that the descendants should be circumcised. This is the eternal covenant. God's promise is one thing. Genesis chapter 26, verse 2 and 4 mentions the promise of the seed, the descendant. This promise was made not only to Isaac, but also to Abraham on Mount Moriah. As soon as Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, God made a promise about the seed, the offspring of the woman. God tells Abraham to be circumcised, but in their literal there is a covenant about God's seed. In the end, the eternal covenant is through your seed, all people under the world will be saved. The promise of the seed is contained in the circumcision ceremony. In Genesis chapter 17, verse 13, God said, He that is born in the house, and he that is bought with the money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. The people believe that they will be saved in the future through the seed. The Apostle Paul said that the seed of that promise is Jesus Christ. Being circumcised is a confession and a sign of God's promise of the seed. That is, I believe that I will be saved in the future through Jesus Christ. The promise of God saying, You will be my people and I will be your God, means that you are not yet my people. It is believing that if the people are circumcised, they will be saved because of the promise of the seed from God in Christ. If they are not circumcised, they do not believe in promises of God. They are not in Christ, and as a result, they are cut off from among the people and cannot be saved by God. Circumcision was to leave a mark on the people of Israel, so that they would not forget the promise of God's seed, which God first promised to Adam and also to Abraham and Isaac. The humans expelled from the Garden of Eden forget all the promises about the seed and lived on their own terms and were destroyed. In Genesis, there is a story of the Son of God marrying the daughter of man. The promise of the seed was broken by the human, and all but Noah's family who firmly believed in the seed's promise were destroyed by the flood. And again he chose Abram, the descendant of Noah, and made the promise of the seed again. They become God's people through the circumcision of their heart, saying, Through circumcision the people of Israel will be believed in the future Christ, the promise of the seed, and be saved from their sin. When Moses brought the Israelites into the land of Canaan, the circumcision of the heart is spoken of the Deuteronomy. Circumcision is the engrave on the flesh that I am the promise of God, and to engrave in my heart that I am saved through Christ. They said that new covenant is not the same as the old covenant made at Mount Sinai. It is said that old covenant is in the Ten Commandments on the stone tables, but the new covenant is written in the heart. Circumcision of the heart is kept in the mind, that God saved those who are in sin to those who believe. It is that the people of Israel, as descendants of Abraham, through the circumcision, kept in their heart the promise of the seed that Christ will be saved me from sin. In their flesh it is a sign, and in the heart God engraved through the circumcision of the heart. Next time I will explain the Passover as an everlasting ordinance. Thank you.